Worldwide child labor is an epidemic affecting nearly 1 in every 6 children. In India alone, almost 27 million children from the ages 5 to 14 are employed. In the United States, one must be at least 15 to work part-time. In Ethiopia, the average schooling a child receives from enrollment to the time they would be attending college is 7 years. In the US, it is 17.
So why does this continue to happen? Why do children in this day and age continue to be made subject to harsh working conditions that rival the children of the Industrial Revolution? The answer lies within the economic consumer chains, starting at the poor children laboring in the factories to create products at low cost. These products are then shipped globally through the companies who, knowingly or not, get these products manufactured for substantially lower costs. These global companies send these products to local retailers who then pass off the products on unsuspecting customers. Governments worldwide who have the power to stop this are deadlocked by corporate interests intent on keeping the higher profit per unit distributed and sold using child labor, and so funnel money to prevent the passing of any such legislation and do their best to keep we, the consumers, in the dark.
But it's far past time these children's stories are brought out of the dark and before the eyes of the public at large. Craig Kielburger, in his novel Free the Children, brings the world a unique take on the issue of child labor. But more importantly, he introduced us to the children in trouble. This branding and subsequent beatings left him permanently scarred, physically and mentally. But Nagashir's is one in the many horrific tales. One girl, Mani Lal, spent her life sorting old, used hypodermic needles. She risked getting infected by every needle she touched, not caring for her own safety or even having the knowledge of any preventative medicine. And yet, when Mr. Kielburger began to talk to her, he was quickly ushered out. And they are not alone. These cases are not simply part of some grand statistical model of the world. They are real children living in a prison that society has made for them, a prison that we have helped build. Some argue that child labor is a good thing for the children working. They bring home money for their families, giving them the chance to feed themselves and become more independent. They also say that learning a trade is good for these children.
It's necessary to have children working on farms at all.
In terms of productivity, it probably isn't. In terms of opportunities for the children, I think it is still very valuable.
Others take a more centralist view, thinking that child labor is not a good thing, but is inevitable in a global capitalist economy. But these views seek to only absolve ourselves from the guilt we feel, that we are responsible for the way our economies rely on the cheap labor these children provide. The fact of the matter is simply that child labor prevents youth from receiving the education they deserve, forcing them to accept low-paying jobs for the rest of their lives. These jobs are often extremely hazardous and have been shown to result in a loss of life, as well as damaging the physical and psychological development of these children. All too often, exposure to pesticides or the use of heavy machinery can maim or kill these children, and the pain they are forced to endure often results in mental issues and a high rate of suicide or substance abuse. But we cannot run away from these problems. We must take responsibility for the parts we play in the exploitation of children. These children do not benefit from being forced to work their lives away in squalor and ignorance. And we as global citizens can stop their abuse if only we become conscientious of the choices we are making that put them in danger.
But not all hope is lost as long as we are willing to take a stand. We as citizens of the United States, we as privileged citizens of the West, we as citizens of the world, we can make a difference.
I can make a difference. I will not support any companies that continue to use child labor. I will encourage change through my choices in spending, and will hit these companies where it hurts, right in the bottom line.
I can make a difference. I will take action against the political system that continues to show apathy in the face of great social injustice. My voice will be heard, whether it be by a local congressman or a Washington, D.C. power player.
I can make a difference. I will no longer ignore the plight of children worldwide, and I will help them in whatever ways I can, be it through charitable donation or by simply educating my friends and family about these social inequities so that the entire world might hear their stories.
No longer can we be individuals in this world, disjointed and only caring for ourselves or those immediately around us. We must stand as a world against the forces that would enslave these children.